This video is brought to you by NordVPN. They're constantly making Marvel movies all the time, you know what I mean?
Oh boy, do I.
I mean, some are delayed, some aren't, you know, whatever, you know how it works, obviously.
I'm well acquainted with the movie industry.
But did you know also that movies are often cancelled?
Today we are cancelling
movies.
Even Marvel movies.
No?
I've got a list here of, I don't know, it's too many. Like
I don't want to
14
hear
of them.
about it. It's too distressing.
Well, these actually start all the way back in the mid-2000s, and I'm going to go through some
The
of the...
dawn of time.
That's right. Some of the cancelled movies that happened with Marvel and the potential ideas which were going to be worked into those.
Okay, I'm ready.
And if you do want to leave a like, that'd be great. Helps the video.
Clickety click.
And don't take that like back when I say Daredevil 2 was the first one. Daredevil was supposed to get a sequel with Ben Affleck and all of that. It was supposed to be a franchise. It sort of was because Elektra is a sequel to
That is
Daredevil.
true, yeah.
It's much worse somehow.
Does Daredevil end in like open-endedly? I'm sure. I mean, it does, but is it?
I mean, he's still out there, and
He's
the
still out there,
Kingpin's
yeah.
like, I will get you. And he's like, not in this franchise, you won't.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm cancelling it.
That's right. I know Ben Affleck was immediately like, I never want to do this again, though he does appear in an Elektra deleted scene.
All right.
Which obviously was cut from the film. There was rumors of Mr. Fear was going to be worked into
I'm
that
not
story.
super familiar with Mr. Fear.
There's the Man Without Fear, and then you bring in Mr. Fear.
Who's afraid of everything.
That's right. And then they cancel each other out.
Wow.
Somewhere in the middle. Next up, we have Hulk 2.
Oh, you're not excited for any action set pieces in Daredevil 2, like maybe on a different set of play equipment?
I mean, how do you top that?
Sandpit, maybe?
Sandpit's not a bad idea.
Maybe like one of those plastic tunnels?
Whirly-durly.
Well, whirly-durly.
That's right. Next up, we got Hulk 2. Was supposed to come out in 2005. Remember Hulk?
With Ang Lee's the Hulk.
Ang Lee's the Hulk.
Australia's own Eric Banner is the Hulk.
The Hulk, that's right. Rumors of the Grey Hulk, the Leader, Abomination. So it's somebody more interesting for him to punch than a big puffy cloud, whatever happened at the end of that movie.
Yep.
But I feel like, though, the MCU essentially made the sequel to that movie.
They did. I mean, the Abomination was in The Incredible Hulk.
Yes.
We had a man's head expanding to that of the leaders.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And not only that, The Incredible Hulk pretty much picks up after this movie. And I know they're not in the same universe because Hulk from 2003 is its own thing.
Yes.
But that movie ends in Brazil, and then the next one starts with him in Brazil.
Oh.
Also, they're always swapping out the Hulk, aren't they? So
Yeah,
does it really matter if he's Eric Banner and then he's Edward Norton, then
Absolutely
he's Mark
not.
Ruffalo? Doesn't matter at all. Anyway, I didn't want to see Hulk too. Not really.
I didn't either. No.
Yeah.
No.
I don't hate that movie, but then again, I haven't watched it in about 15 years. So you know what? I probably do hate it.
I would have hated it, but also I would have watched it.
Yes.
Because that's all we had back then.
That's all we had. Next up, we had The Punisher 2. Now, the reason The Punisher was going to get a sequel...
Back in the habit.
That's right. He's done that before. He's dressed as a nun, hasn't he?
Absolutely, he's dressed as a nun.
Is because it wasn't a huge hit in cinemas, but it had a massive home release.
Now this is the Thomas Jane.
It's Thomas Jane one,
yeah.
yeah. And I quite like that movie.
I don't.
It's a bit of fun. It's got an excellent in-apartment fight where he fights giant Popeye.
The Russian, yes,
that's
right.
right, which I really enjoy. It did end up getting a reboot, but it did get a sequel of sorts, a very, very violent 10-minute follow-up in Dirty Laundry.
That's right.
And after Thomas Jane did that, he was like, I'm kind of done with this.
Okay.
But I thought Thomas Jane was a really good The Punisher.
Yeah, I think he's a good actor and a good The Punisher. I feel he was hamstrung by a script which I didn't like. Even though it is based on some actual comic books.
Yeah.
It felt a little bit contrived to me.
Okay, fair enough.
Kind of silly, but you know,
Can't
that's
really-
comic books.
It certainly is.
But of course there was another Punisher movie, The Punisher Warzone, which I enjoy a lot.
Well, funny you should mention that because that in itself was also to get a spin-off.
Like, squeeze me.
The idea around this time was to do these darker Marvel films. And
Marvel Knights, yeah.
that's right, and have their own kind of universe going on. Because this happened also around the same time as the MCU kicking off. Punisher Warzone came out after Iron Man.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So Ray Stevenson hinted at the Barracuda being the possible villain in the sequel.
Yep.
That is as comic accurate as you can really get for a Punisher movie.
Yes.
Yeah, I like all the Punishers. I like the TV show version, but I feel like this one he's big and he's broad and he's so mean.
Yes, he
and it's
is, yeah.
ridiculous and
Yeah.
hyper violent.
And he's efficient.
And he's very efficient. He has no remorse. He's just all hatred.
He'll shoot a parkour guy out of the sky with a rocket launcher. He
He'll
doesn't
do it.
care.
Yeah, it got maligned at the time and critically slammed for being really mean and dour and sinister and in a way that, you know, movies shouldn't be. But Lexi Alexander, who made that movie, a lot of the stuff that was criticized is just lifted directly from the Punisher comics.
Yeah, right.
He's just a bad guy.
He really is.
So that's how it goes, right?
Yeah. And of course, Ray Stevenson, you know, made it back into the MCU as
Volstagg.
That's right, yeah.
Now, we talked about these recently because we did cover them for Caravan of Garbage, but Fantastic Four was supposed to get a sequel after Rise of the Silver Surfer, as well as a Rise of the Silver Surfer spin-off. We talked about that already. I'll link the videos below because we covered every Fantastic Four movie in a bit of detail there if you do want to check that out. So
in excruciating detail.
That's right. And speaking of also, we did a similar thing for Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 4.
That's right, yeah.
After Spider-Man 3 kind of didn't do well, the idea was that they were going to continue that universe. Again, I'll link those below if you do want to check out our videos on that. Because we're going to skip right on over to X-Men Origins Magneto.
Oh my God, these were so full of promise, and I just imagine that meeting. They were like, oh my God, we're going to cover all the most interesting X-Men characters. Wolverine, Magneto, and then he just slowly backed out of the room.
That's pretty much exactly it, yeah. So rumors were that it was going to be set partially during World War II and then onwards. A lot of this did get folded into X-Men First Class.
That's right.
So the Magneto Nazi hunting stuff, for example. I think Ian McKellen must have been told at one point that he was going to be de-aged for the movie, because I remember him saying that in an interview, because they tried that in X-Men 3. You can't really sustain that for a full movie, especially not at that time.
Absolutely not.
In particular. So I think... yeah, again, this movie sort of did happen with First Class, which I think is one of the better X-Men movies.
Yeah, I think what we're discovering here is a lot of the cancelled projects
repurposed,
repackaged, repurposed and repackaged. That's right.
And after that, of course, we have the Amazing Spider-Man 3 plus a Sinister Six movie. I didn't want this.
No one wanted this.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. The problem with that franchise to me was, I don't think The Amazing Spider-Man is terrible. I just think it's a lot of stuff that we'd already just seen, and why we're doing this again. And the sequel is just all over the place. I think there's some good moments in both of those movies. I'm not invested in those movies at all. That being said, if they ever do a Spider-Verse movie, which they should, bring them all
Andrew
back.
Garfield,
Bring them all back.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, a live action one I'm talking about. Sinister Six movie I feel like is going to happen anyway, though.
That's true. Yeah.
Then, of course, we have Fantastic Four 2. Yes, I'm talking about the Josh Trank version. Again, there is a video on that, which we talked about that already. But yeah, that was very much something that was going to happen, along with an X-Men crossover with those characters. And then very quickly they came out and said, oh no, they're definitively set in different universes. But I feel like they also set up that story to be like, even if it did do well through some miracle, they're hopping dimensions. So they could have jumped over into wherever they needed to be.
Yeah, right.
It didn't happen. Yeah.
Well, we're also establishing the rules that won't work. The science doesn't check out in this universe, so...
And they're all dead.
They're all dead, exactly. The radiation killed them.
Yeah.
So,
what do you do?
Yeah.
What do you do? So the thing about the MCU is they've lost directors along the way. Edgar Wright in the first Ant-Man, Patty Jenkins on Thor 2, James Gunn was fired briefly for Guardians of the Galaxy 3, but now he's back. But the only MCU film that didn't happen that was supposed to was The Inhumans, and that ended up as a horrible TV series. And that was the work of Ike Perlmutter and some other higher-ups who wanted them to be their own X-Men because they weren't going to get the X-Men back at that point.
Now, in fairness, we don't know the whole series is horrible.
No.
All we know is that the first 3 episodes were so horrible that we will never, ever watch the rest of them, despite the fact they're all available for free on Disney Plus now.
Correct. They really don't have them up top, though, do they, on the Disney Plus app? You really got to search for them to find them, don't you?
Yeah. And when you search for Inhumans, it's like, do you mean regular humans? We've got plenty of movies with regular humans if you just want to watch any of those.
Do you want the movie Gus? It's about it's a mule that can kick field goals. What do you think of that?
All right.
No? Come on.
Please don't watch Inhumans.
Are you stuck at home with nothing to watch and maybe you want something to watch? Well, of course you are. That's most of us every day, all the time now. Well, get this, because in addition to no data logging, when using NordVPN, you can switch between 60 plus countries to watch content from around the globe. For example, do you want to watch The Last Dance? Or just switch NordVPN to Australia and then you can watch it through Netflix. In fact, every single streaming service offers different region-specific shows that I highly encourage you hunt around for. I'm telling you, you're going to be amazed what's available and the money you can save. Plus, it's all supported by super fast servers, meaning there's no buffering. And 30 days money back if you want, but you won't, but you can, but you won't. And right now you can get 70% off a 3-year plan plus 1 additional month for free when you go to nordvpn.com/Mr. Sunday Movies or use code Mr. Sunday Movies, all one word. This special offer makes your subscription just $3.49 per month. That's nordvpn.com/Mr. Sunday Movies to take control of the internet again. And also it helps us out in a big way. We'd appreciate it if you checked it out if you want to. Okay, the rest of the video. There is, of course, a list of Fox X-Men movies that got cancelled in the merger with Disney. Look, we'll probably save those for another day, but the one that I do want to bring up, of course.
Gambit.
It's Gambit, exactly, yeah.
The movie that never was and never will be.
Yeah, well, maybe. The idea was initially that they were going to spin off the character from Wolverine Origins. For obvious reasons, that didn't happen. It got recast as Channing Tatum, who was also in the running in the first place to play Gambit, and then it just kept getting pushed back and back and losing directors, and then the production start date, it's happened next week, and then it gets shifted, and then an actor can't make the commitment because the dates have changed.
And then somebody realizes it's about a guy who can charge up playing cards so they explode, and everybody just wonders what they're doing with their lives, and everybody gets a little bit depressed.
That's
and then,
essentially it, yeah.
And then everybody has some therapy, and everybody goes, well, you know what, let's give this a try anyway.
Because I feel like Gambit's never been a massively popular character, right?
I think he was kind of big. I think the cartoon made him kind of
Well,
big
that's what I was going to say, yeah, but that was in the 90s.
Yes, that's
yeah, but
right.
then again, Iron Man wasn't popular when he showed up for the first time,
That's
was
true,
he?
yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
people weren't really sure, and I know there's comic book fans who obviously always knew who Iron Man was, but there was confusion, like, is this guy a robot? What is this guy? Turns out, no,
He's
not
a
a
man.
robot. He's a drunk man.
He's a human.
Yeah.
So if you search for him on Disney Plus, that's what you get.
You absolutely find him. Also, we should put the caveat on this. Any of these could come back really at any point. Not any of them. Fantastic Four will not come back. But there's other ideas here that definitely could be folded into other stories down
That's
the line,
true, yeah.
I feel, of different variations on. Yeah, we might get a Gambit movie at some
We
point.
might get a Gambit Maverick crossover movie.
Finally.
Not Maverick, the X-Men character. Maverick.
Top Gun Maverick.
No, I was going to say Maverick, the Mel Gibson gambler.
Okay, sure. Bring them all in. James Garner, Mel Gibson, Channing Tatum, Tom Cruise.
Taylor something? That
Taylor
guy?
Kitsch, yeah,
Taylor Kitsch.
exactly.
Yeah.
Just the cartoon Gambit from the 90s.
Yeah.
Whatever.
All right.
As long as they've all got the Gambit sock mask, it's
That's
fine with
right.
me. They're a team of Gambits. I'm curious, so does anybody here wish that one of these at least came out? And which one is it?
Yeah, which one's the most
For me,
intriguing?
it's Spider-Man 4, I think.
For me, I think it's Gambit. Because on the one hand, as we just mentioned...
What do you say?
It's just a guy throwing exploding playing cards.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's 2 hours of a guy throwing exploding playing cards. What are they going to make that into?
Yeah, good
I'm going to
question.
guess fanboat chases.
Oh, my goodness.
I guarantee.
I was about to say, do you guarantee?
I guarantee
He
it,
guarantees,
yes.
yeah, very good. Anyways, look, there's videos here all the time. You wouldn't believe that, would you?
I believe it.
I'd believe it too, actually.
Yeah, a lot of people
I've
believe
seen
it.
coming
A lot
up.
of people are subscribed, I think.
Definitely. If you do want to subscribe, like Mason said, we'd greatly appreciate that. Also, of course, we have a podcast called The Weekly Planet where we talk movies and comics and TV shows that comes out every Monday morning. Please come along if you like. We talk the news of the week. We talk a topic, don't we?
And this week we talked about a topic.
Yes, we did. And you can listen to said topic.
That topic.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm at Mr. Sunday Movies on Twitter.
I'm at Wikipedia Brown on Twitter.
See you guys next time.
Grab that gem, you guys. We'll see you real soon.